At the beginning of the story, we see a girl named Kendall, living on a farm with her friend Dean. They pump water from the ground to survive. However, Kendall desperately wants to get Dean out of there because his kidneys have failed, and if he is to survive, he needs treatment at a nearby camp. But leaving the area isn't easy. Hostile people called quenchers are always roaming nearby. They also have a radio through which Kendall listens to nearby transmissions, where people are constantly pleading for help. Some haven't had water in 20 days, others in 10, and no one has access to a water source. One day, while Kendall and Dean are working on the farm, they hear some noise. Both of them hide in the attic. Two men have come onto their property, but they don't check the attic and leave. After they're gone, Kendall comes downstairs and finds a woman sitting there. Kendall points a gun at her. The woman says, "I just need water. My leg is injured." Hearing that, Kendall gives her water. Kendall is suspicious that the woman might not be alone, but she turns out to be truly by herself. Her name is Sky. Kendall tells Sky she can stay there if she wants, but Sky says she has to leave because her sister is nearby and she needs to reach her. She even invites Kendall to come along, but Kendall refuses. Kendall has her own plan. There's an old plane on the farm that's not working due to a missing part. They can repair it, they can escape. Kendall's goal is to reach a greener place, which is why she is staying back and working on the plane. She gives Sky some water and Sky leaves. Woman's house is being invaded and she needs help. Kendall decides to go help her because she has a gun and the house is nearby. But as she reaches the location, she realizes it was a trap. It turns out the place is controlled by a man named Carson, who owns a water compound. Carson believes that people extracting water from the ground are drying up the land, and eventually his compound too will dry out. So he has taken it upon himself to kill those people and seize their farms. He ends up killing that entire family. Luckily, Kendall manages to escape unnoticed. On her way back to the farm, she finds a broken down vehicle and takes a part from it that she believes might fix the plane. But when she installs it, it doesn't fit. She's completely heartbroken. To make things worse, the water from their pump, which was previously working fine, has started to slow down. That night, Dean tells her that he suspects Carson is drilling into the soil and diverting all the water to his side, which is why their source is drying up. He tells Kendall, "I don't think I can survive without water. My kidneys are failing. So you don't need to worry about fixing the plane anymore. You need to leave this place. ... Let me know if you'd like the continuation or if you need this as a YouTube narration script or video summary. Here is the complete English translation of your provided Hindi text. Far away from here, my uncle has a farm. It would take you 2 to 3 weeks to reach there, and once you do, you'll be completely safe. But Kendall tells her friend Dean, "I'm not going to leave you here alone." Both of them are orphans, and Dean had lost his older sister in that very house. He buried her just outside the farm before continuing the video. I'd like to make a small request. 99% of you watch the videos, but don't subscribe to the channel or like the videos. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to support the channel. The next morning, a local boy named Gabriel, who likes Kendall, comes to her asking for help. On the way, he finds Sky's dead body, the girl who wanted to reach her sister's home, which has now passed away. Just then, a woman named Grace, who also lives nearby, arrives and tells Kendall that everyone's wells have dried up. The only option left is to join Carson, just like he wants. Grace also tells Kendall that Carson has medicines that could completely cure Dean, but Kendall refuses to join Carson. Before Carson arrives at the scene, Kendall hides. Carson shows up and kills Gabriel's entire family, saying they're all too old and I don't have enough water to waste on old people. My supply is limited. Gabriel is devastated by his family's death. Carson asks if there's anyone else hiding nearby, but Gabriel denies it. Meanwhile, Kendall escapes through the back. She encounters a man, but kills him with her gun, and then returns to the farm where the plane is. There is a young boy who lives alone on that farm. Kendall had once promised him that when she flies out with the plane, she'll take him along, although she had often invited him to stay with her. The boy always preferred to live alone. When Kendall returns to her farm, She tells Dean that Carson is killing everyone and taking over their farms. He doesn't want anyone else alive so that fewer people use water. Later, Dean goes outside to visit the grave of his sister. He still misses her dearly. He tells Kendall, "When I die, don't bury me, burn me. If you bury me, I fear you might never leave this place, clinging to my memory." Hearing this, Kendall becomes emotional and promises that they will escape. Soon, that night, they sleep in the attic. The next morning, Kendall comes down and sees one of Carson's men outside their house. She quickly hides inside. Carson suspects someone is living there because of the water pump outside. He says, "Whoever is inside, come out immediately." But Kendall knows that if she goes out, Carson will kill her. So she goes back into the attic, where Dean is already hiding. Carson's men enter the house. Carson uses a special device to detect human presence through body heat, but he fails to trace them because both Kendall and Dean have covered themselves completely with foil, which blocks their body heat. Since Carson's device shows no signs of life, he assumes no one is there. But to be sure, he releases poisonous gas into the house, working to force anyone hiding inside to come out. However, Kendall and Dean wear gas masks, so they are unaffected. Convinced no one is inside, Carson and his men mark the house as theirs and leave. As they're leaving, Carson's daughter notices a piece of silver foil near the window, which makes her suspicious. But for the time being, they all leave the area. Kendall is now in deep trouble. Their well is completely dried up, and no more water can be pumped. She doesn't tell Dean about this. Instead, she heads toward Carson's compound, hoping to find a part for the plane. There's tight security there, and even though there's a vehicle that might have the part, Kendall can't risk getting too close. As she returns, a man spots her, but she kills him with her gun and escapes. Kendall is extremely distressed and knows she must find a solution fast. The next morning, she sees 3 people approaching their farm. She tells Dean that 3 survivors are coming. Dean says, "We have water, we should help them." Kendall goes outside and points a gun at the 3, asking them who they are. They say they've traveled a long way and have no water. Kendall gives them some water. They offer her to come along with them, but she refuses. That night, Dean finds out that their pump and well have completely dried up. They have no water left. Kendall tells him, "We have only enough water to survive for 1 more week." That's why Kendall has stopped drinking water herself. ... Let me know if you'd like the final part or want the entire story turned into a polished YouTube narration script or movie explanation summary. Here's the full English translation of the final part of your story. Kendall gives all the remaining water to her friend Dean, knowing that if he doesn't get it, he will die. Dean feels terrible hearing this because he wants Kendall to survive and escape, no matter what. She tells Dean about the vehicle near Carson's compound, which is heavily guarded. Dean tells her the route to get there. The next morning, she goes to that area and uses a slingshot with a burning lighter, throwing it toward the compound to create a distraction. As the area catches fire, all of Carson's men rush to control it. Kendall sneaks in, finds the car part she needs, and is overjoyed to see that it's the correct one. She runs back to Dean and tells him that they've finally got the part, and they will escape soon. But when she goes downstairs to fetch water, the 3 survivors to whom she had given water earlier ambush her. One of them hits her on the head with a bottle and knocks her out. They tie her hands and feet. Turns out they only came to steal her water, just as one of them is about to kill Kendall. Dean, despite his sickness, comes downstairs with a gun and kills all 3 of them. He then tries to untie Kendall, but the sound of gunfire alerts Carson and his men, and they begin heading toward the house. Dean hides Kendall in the car and tells her, "No matter what happens, even if I die, do not come out." Carson and his men reach the house. His daughter, who always suspected someone lived on this farm, is with him. They find Dean sick and weak and are shocked that someone in his condition managed to kill 3 people. They begin searching the house, but Dean opens fire again, kills a few of Carson's men, and is eventually killed himself. Hearing the gunshots, Kendall realizes Dean has died. She is heartbroken, but stays hidden, as promised. Carson and his daughter leave, but 2 of their men stay back to search Kendall. an expert with a sword, kills both of them. When she removes the mask of one of them, she finds out it was Gabriel, her neighbor who once liked her. She is devastated, but there's nothing she can do now. Kendall has now lost both her closest friends. Honoring Dean's wish, she cremates his body instead of burying him and then heads to the farm where the plane is parked. She installs the new part, it fits perfectly. But the boy who lived there is missing. Kendall sees *** Carson's mark outside the house, realizing Carson must have taken the child ***. She refuses to leave without him because she had promised to take him along. She sneaks into the compound through the water pipes and finds the boy sitting there. Frightened, Carson's men attack her, but using her gun, she kills them all one by one. Finally, Carson himself confronts her, but Kendall, skilled with the sword, kills Carson. Now, only Carson's daughter remains. They engage in a fierce fight, but Kendall defeats and kills her too. Kendall takes the child and heads back to the plane. The boy asks her about Dean, and Kendall lies, telling him Dean is staying back at the farm, and with that, the movie ends with Kendall finally keeping her promise. It's taking the child and preparing to fly to freedom. Let me know if you'd like a full YouTube script, voiceover narration, or SEO optimized summary and hashtags for this film.